There are a lot of hungry people in the world, Mel, and none of them are hungry because we went to the moon. None of them are colder, and certainly none of them are dumber because we went to the moon.
And we went to the moon. Do we really have to go to Mars?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's next. Because we came out of the cave, and we looked over the hill, and we saw fire. And we crossed the ocean, and we pioneered the West, and we took to the sky. The history of man is hung on a timeline of exploration, and this is what's next.
That was a remarkably stationary clip from The West Wing. And this is the hook. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Roush, and I love the University of Texas so much that if UT were on a ballot, I'd vote for it every time, multiple times, if that were allowed. I'm not sure. Can we look into that? Dear viewer, I have a question for you, one that's been bugging me lately. Have things seemed different to you lately, especially here in Texas? Something's in the air, a change, something big, something massive, something that affects our everyday lives. No, I'm not talking about the arrival of summer with its steering wheel baking, electric bill ruining heat. I'm talking about the departure of the Texas Legislature. That's right, folks. The gavels have sounded, the cocktail parties have ended, and the Leg's 140-day flurry of, mostly talking has ended. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Andrew, the legislature ended like a few weeks ago. Where's the news in that? Well, Mr. Smarty Pants, the legislature did lots of things that affect higher education and UT specifically. So, yeah. What, you want examples? Well, for one, the way the state supports university research is getting an overhaul. The Texas Competitive Knowledge Fund, that's gone. Research Development Fund, also gone. But in its place, the Texas University Research Fund will match 1.2 million state dollars, that's an increase, by the way, for every 10 million in research expenditures here at UT. Now, all of this is likely in no small part because Texas ex-Governor Greg Abbott listed support for university research among his emergency items for this legislative session. He even came to campus to sign into law a new initiative, the aptly named Governor's University Research Initiative, which puts $40 million toward the goal of attracting the best and brightest minds, the best scholars from around the world and the country, here to the Lone Star State. Corey, we got anybody more interesting than me who can talk about this?
Bringing in great researchers has a synergistic effect.
Yeah, that's right. The governor of Texas. Didn't think we could do it, did you? Well, take that, arch-rival weekly university news program at Texas A&M, The Gig. Anyway, Mr. Governor, could you please tell us more about the economic impact of university research?
The researchers typically set up labs of whatever kind of project they're working on. And when they do that, they hire sometimes students, graduate students, to work with them, but they also often work in tandem with the private sector around the area.
And is there some kind of, easy model you could offer people to help them understand?
The easy model for people to envision is the model of what we've seen at places like Stanford or MIT or Harvard, where you have these great minds and great research labs working in tandem with large private sector companies, especially in the high-tech field. And that's exactly what we want to replicate here in the state of Texas.
All right, and what happens after we attract these Nobel-winning geniuses?
There are several aspects that will elevate the university to these top-tier status. One is bringing in these great minds, and part of it is the Nobel laureates and National Academy members. But remember this, and that is, those are people who have already achieved greatness in their field. One thing they do, they serve as a magnet to attract the aspiring researchers who long to be Nobel laureates themselves.
Now, Mr. Governor, I'm obliged to ask the tough questions while I have you here. So, what's your favorite UT News web series?
This one right here.
Woo! We did it, folks. That sounds like an endorsement to me. And you know who doesn't have an endorsement from the governor? Anyone running for president until now. Corey, hit it! Hey there, America. I'm Andrew Roush, host of The Hook. And I love America so much that I'm running for president of America. Call me naive, but I think we need to start thinking about the future here in the present, because pretty soon the present will be the future, and then what's now the present will be the past. I'm a man with vision, hearing, taste, touch, smell. How many candidates can say that?
Lots of boring countries like Germany and Albania have the eagle as their national animal, but what about the longhorn? I pull my jeans on one leg at a time and I drink my beers two at a time. Don't you want a president who likes to drink a beer? What are you, some kind of jerk?
Texas is like America on steroids. So let's put America on steroids. Texas steroids. I'm Andrew Roush, and I approve this message. Let's do this, America. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Governor, while I still have you here, what are your priorities moving ahead, college-wise?
Right now, in the process, in the aftermath of this last legislative session, I'm already beginning to think about what I'm going to do next session. And I am pondering the possibility of putting an emergency item on demanding that a football game be played between the University of Texas and Texas A&M.
Oh, snap. You heard it here first, folks, so get those blogs going. And Aggies, he was just joking. That's what we call humor. If you want to learn more about this and see all the clips from our interview with the governor, they are down in the description below. And that's the only thing in the description this time, but there were a few things we didn't get to cover in the episode. So go check out all the clips below. They're important and you should look at them. And if you're still hazy on the importance of research, well, that just means you haven't watched enough episodes of The Hook. And you can watch every episode by subscribing, so please find the subscribe button wherever it is and click on it, and I promise you, you won't get any campaign emails, not yet anyway. And what else? Well, if you want more UT news, check out the Texas Exes and our award-winning magazine, The All Call Day, on all your favorite social media outlets. And while you're on the social media, don't forget the hashtag Roush2016. Is that on the screen? Okay, great. Well, that's it. Until next time, I'm Andrew Roush, and I'm running for president. And you can stay hooked and also vote for me.